Hello everyone! Here we have some more very interesting leaks from the Pipeline channel on Discord. Here we have the new Levski. For those who are playing for a while know that Levski looked very different in the past. CRG totally remade the exterior. Picture of the crater. Hope is here. And you can see hangers around the crater. This is not where hangers were before, but before there were not exactly enough hangers. And a picture of the asteroids. Like in movies and most games, those asteroid belts are way too dense. In real life, the average distance between asteroids is 1 million kilometers. Still, looks nice. And we have this picture of the alien ship. My guess is it's a Clave with a Vendul in the cockpit. Looks like he doesn't wear a helmet. Not a good idea if he has to eject. Scorpius inside asteroids. I wonder how easy it is to fly through this without getting hit by asteroids. Inside Levski, from memory this doesn't look that much different. You have the statue and you have main elevators left and right of the statue. Teach ship shop. This was the first ship shop we had in the game. And we have this posting from Vane777 on Reddit. Levski is awesome and will definitely be my new home location. It has the ease to navigate like Grimhex without all the trash. The outdoors have a great vibe and there are now cargo elevators that can be used from the landing pads. The patch feels pretty stable for an Evo build, so hopefully it will come soon to everyone. You can currently set your home location at 3 different areas in Nyx. I picked Levski because I hadn't seen my old friend for a long time. So 3 locations are Nyx and the space stations at each jump gate. So good? Levski station looks impressive. They've done away with the cookie cutter Stanton Pyro design. It feels unique. The best way to describe it is Grimhex but without trash and a better flow. We start straight in our hangars and the hangar resembles a Stanton hangar more than a Pyro one. The lighting is much better than the Pyro hangars. No longer do I need a torch to navigate through the hangar. The med panel in med bay now shows the cause of death. I backspaced and it showed probably cause impact or suicide. The med bay looks close to a Pyro one, but the cleaned up version. I love the ESOP terminal hall at Levski, very spacious and organic. Grand Butter, the main shopping area, feels good, organic with a unique design. The shops look similar to some of those found at Area 18. Yeah, I wonder how much this changed from the Levski we had before. Inventory terminals are placed everywhere. You won't waste time searching for one, as you may do at other stations. He means the item banks. I hate those item banks, they make no sense at all. Please give us back local inventory, CIG. The Ripper SMG is for sale at Levski. I love the cafe area. It's refreshing, seeing a different design, curtains, small string lights, separate booths and paintings. I love the rumble that goes through the station at times. It's a nice environmental effect. I am not convinced. Most ships and stations have way too loud background noises. The armor shop is massive and I love that the NPCs are now wearing wider selection of clothes and armor. Sadly, no new armor for sale. The food and beverage area is spacious and easy to navigate. NPCs were doing NPC things, eating, walking, talking, sitting, etc. Well, NPCs are doing NPC things for a while now. It just doesn't look convincing at all. There are new stores, a souvenir shop where you can buy a Benny shirt, a fruit store, a coffee shop. There is a central elevator that works without having to use an elevator panel. You just go to it, the doors open and it moves you to the other part of the station. There's a ship store at Levski and it's easy to reach. Just take the elevator from your hangar. It's Tor's New Deal and it sells vehicles, ships and a wide selection of weapons and components. Ships in the showroom are Golem, Aurora, Mole, Fortune, Nomad, Nursa, Rock DS, Gladius, Cutter, Arrow, Reliant Core, Freelancer Max. The cargo trolley was also there but it couldn't be interacted with. In one PTU build we had those cargo trolleys for a short while, but they just didn't work because physics and CIG don't work together. Nyx has a beautiful blue hui with a white star. With all the bits and pieces of asteroids around Levski, it feels you are in a deep ocean. Not sure if this was in before. When you scan another ship, you can now see the mode it is in, Quantum or Combat. I get it, Star Citizen is a very huge and ambitious project, progress is slow, but what really gets me is if things were much better in the past. Like the flight model before we got the terrible master mode. Like scanning was so much easier before we got the Fisher-Price HUD, MFDs and UIs. We scanned and we could see all the information at one glance on our HUD. If you are scanning now, you see the information on the MFD and you have to scroll. Why is CHG making the game intentionally worse? I have no idea. There's some great music in Nyx. No missions were available in space, but as you get closer to the stations, there are already some. Vicolo, investigation, parcel delivery, mercenary, bounty hunting, and interstellar cargo hauling. Vicolo is the worst addition to the game, but Chris seems to like it. The distances in Nyx with the few missions I picked are much more reasonable than Pyro. Some are a bit further than Stanton though. For the parcel delivery mission, I had to fly into deep space to recover a package from a freelancer that was destroyed. The exterior of Levski is absolutely stunning. While hangars are there, of course, there are so many landing pads, which brings back memories of Port Olisar, but then on steroids. There are 7 landing pads close together and one a little bit further away at Levski. The latter doesn't have an elevator right now. These landing pads do not have an elevator to the station, but each does have an external cargo lift. This will make it much easier to load/unload stuff to from a station. Large turrets are placed around these pads. Yeah, Chris wants us to load/unload our ships ourselves using a magical handheld tractor beam. A HLC can be loaded with 144 32 SU containers. Have a lot of fun loading those one by one. This is so silly. Where are the machines, services, NPCs you talked about, Chris, more than 8 years ago? And I wonder how good or how bad those turrets are at actually defending your ship. So not so good, some signage on Levski is currently low res, like from years ago. Elevator controls didn't work when I left my hangar to explore the station. A quick backspace helped me move to the med bay. After that, all the elevators work. Typical bugs of an Evo build. The inventory consoles at the med bay didn't work, they do work at all the other areas at Levski. Performance was rough, low FPS at times, and a server error, but that is to be expected, like a lot of logging going on. Some of the racks at the weapon shop were only half filled. NPCs are sometimes launched from the ground into the ceiling. Yeah, so much for realistic NPCs. There are some NPC interactions, but currently the default back to high when you select any of the conversation options. Interesting, so we can now in theory talk to NPCs. As I mentioned, during CitizenCon, there's only Nyx present and the 2 jump gate stations, one to Stanton and one to Pyro. Yeah, no plans of Nyx yet. The top elevator in the XL hangar is not present, only the shadow until it's completely closed. There are currently grey 512X panels visible instead. Again, it's Evo. They interact with the surface of the elevator, causing some texture flickering. The quantum markers do not show any text. It's not possible to quantum travel to Levski other than joining a party with someone who is already there or if you have a mission target. I hope this will change. We need to be able to quantum jump directly to Levski. Jump gate stations are the same we have in Stanton and Pyro. Yeah, CHG likes to copy and paste things all over the universe. I was not able to request a hangar at Levski. Every time I requested it, it said request completed, but no hangar was offered. This is something CHG will surely fix before this goes to live. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen.
Steve Apollyon asks, are there any plans on cargo loading of the bigger ships such as the whole series of ships, and is the loading at a space station or even planetary going to be automatic, or will we have specialized small cargo loading ships similar to Argo to load manually if we choose to, similar to the Argo?
Yeah, we have talked about the fact that we don't want the larger ships to basically just park it, click the button, and it's done. That these larger ships that have vast quantities of materials would actually take a significant period of time to unload and may result in missions for NPCs and/or other players to actually undertake. We've actually got a pretty comprehensive design right now, but we're still iterating through that because we actually want to unify some of the functionality for loading and unloading.
Like if I have a big container ship and I pull into the port of LA here at Long Beach, there's a whole setup. There's longshoremen, big cranes, and there's services, and the crew of the container ship don't actually unload the containers themselves. There's equipment that does it, and there's people that are paid to do that. And I would say that in general, in sort of the bigger sort of spaceports, you would have that same kind of setup where you would have the ability to unload the bigger ships, unload the containers. Potentially, we've talked about having the ability for players to sort of play the part of a longshoreman if they're running around in a Largo and taking off a container from a Hully and dropping it to another place and doing that, or having AI do that. And then there obviously will be cases where, which is probably a later question we have here, but there'll be manual unloading and loading of cargo where you don't have the sort of big services, like if I just had a ship and I was off the coast somewhere and there wasn't a port, then obviously I would have to be doing it myself. And so I think we've been looking at ways that you have the sort of automatic option that's the services provided.
The automatic option when appropriate, but the fidelity so that on these smaller ships you can actually, and this makes for much more interesting gameplay, and a lot of times in a lot of different cases, because you can imagine scenarios to where you need to deliver a smaller quantity, a half dozen, a dozen, specific crates of some sort of illegal liquor or something to somebody at a planet.
I think so the answer is there will be services, but we'll also have some specialized ships and equipment for unloading cargo.
We've actually got a pretty comprehensive design right now.
Hey, you're still here. You might want to join me on Twitter or on Blue Sky.